Hi, everyone. I'm Peppa, and I'm a poet. It is so great to be here and to be performing at Thriving, Not Just Surviving Youth Power for the Global Goals. I am Tanzanian. I come from Tanzania, born and raised in my beautiful home country. I have been writing and performing poetry on different platforms here in Tanzania for over 10 years now. I like to write about my personal experiences and things I strongly believe in. I use my poetry to motivate and encourage people at times because although I write most of the pieces for me, I've come to learn that a lot of people go through the same things too. As part of the youth, I love taking part in things that support us and motivate us and encourage us, even more so when I get to do that with poetry. I had the honor of performing at the first Youth Power Hack, the Kenya Hack, and now I have the honor at opening the wrap up event. Thank you guys for having me. You can reach out to me or find my work on social media, different platforms where I use the same handle on all of them. That is a poet Peppa. Just one word, no space, no underscores, and Peppa is Pepa. Thank you. Um, I've prepared a piece for you today, and it's a poem for you, and it's called A Poem for Us. I hope you enjoy it. We, you and I, together as many as the stars of the sky, together we can do anything we put our minds to together. We can make a difference and get through any weather. But you can't do it alone. There are just too many birds for one stone. But if we bring our flames together, we can light up the world like nothing they've ever seen, nothing they've ever heard. There is so much potential in you, and I can see it better from my point of view. But you have to trust in me, and I have to trust in you. So let your voice shout, let your lion roar, spread your wings and fly, spread your wings and soar. Let your imagination run wild. We can do anything we set our minds to create a better world for more than just me and you. But if we aim at nothing, we'll miss each shot. 17 goals are just enough, are they not? Sustainable development, in its nature quite benevolent, for bringing peace and prosperity for everyone through anyone, to create the world that we seek and bring into existence the things that we speak. A plan that can withstand time, time and time after time, to make sure there will still be a place that we can call home before it's all to ashes and it's all gone, whether the weather is cold or whether the weather is warm. A plan to give everyone the chance to learn more than just the lessons in life. A plan that can put food on the table for the king and the one who is not able. A plan that will make sure that she doesn't have to work twice as hard to make half his paycheck and then some, where they don't see first her double X chromosome, where it won't hurt my pocket or the sky to turn on the light, where I can wish you well and see it through, where you can quench your thirst without being worried too. And it begins with you. 7 billion people start with just one, just the one. We can do anything we set our minds to. We can be the ones to bring something new. If we collaborate and contemplate, we can innovate and captivate and go beyond the boundaries that have been set for us, even the ones that we have set for ourselves. You can tell me your dreams and I can tell you mine, and we can build them from the ground up to cloud nine. We can only aim for the stars, lead the battles, and win the wars. But no one will follow what isn't real. They may forget what you said, but not how you made them feel. So above all else, as tough as it may get, you have to be you. Unconditionally, unapologetically, authentically. Let them call you crazy, insane. You can't make a difference by being the same. So be the one to lead and make your own blueprint. And if you were waiting for a sign, this is it. Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
This is awesome.
Wow. That was wonderful. What a really great performance, Pepper. Thank you. I've been watching you on the internet and now you're here. That is brilliant. Don't you think, Kristeena?
Absolutely.
Thank you. It is such an honor.
Pepper, you got better since the Kenya hack. It was just amazing. Thank you so much for that performance. It was just amazing. And for sharing your beautiful poem with us. Youth power is so crucial in ensuring the global goals are delivered by 2030.
For sure. And I heard the goals woven into that poem. That was really wonderful. So look, hi, everyone. Welcome to this event, Thriving, not just Surviving. And we're here to talk about youth power for the global goals. I can't think of anything more fun. My name is Gail Gallie. I'm the co-founder of an organisation called Project Everyone, joining from London in the UK. And with me, I have the wonderful Kristeena Monteith, who thrillingly is joining me from Jamaica as our co-host today. Hi, Kristeena.
Hi everybody. I know that we're joined by people from all across the world, so I just want to big you up. Greetings in your own language, in your own country. How are you? We're all together today to, talk about the global goals and get them delivered. So welcome. And on behalf of Unilever, Project Everyone, Restless Development, and the Youth Power Panel, we are so glad that you're here to celebrate youth power and to learn how young people are making an impact on the global goals today.
Yeah, thank goodness you're here, Kristeena, because I am not young. I mean, I am in my head, but I'm technically not. And so it's so lovely to feel the youthful energy here today. Now, for those of you watching who haven't heard yet, the 17 global goals, the global goals for sustainable development, they are also known as the world's to-do list. They are the most ambitious list of goals that have ever been agreed to by 193 countries of the United Nations, signed in 2015, and the aim is to end poverty, fight inequality, and tackle the climate crisis. The goals are literally the to-do list for everybody on the planet, and we all have our role to play, especially the next generation of young leaders. So let's get the to-do list done. I've been following the Youth Power Hacks from our Project Everyone team in collaboration with Restless Development and powered by Unilever over the last year. And it has been incredible to see so many young people come together and to innovate and to collaborate, all under the framework of the global goals. It's produced such exciting ideas and initiatives, and I'm so glad to have 4 of them here with us today. So, but Kristeena, tell us a little. You were part of the Youth Power panel that began this whole process. I'd love to hear what it's been like from you and from your perspective being involved in this initiative from the start.
Yeah, so the Youth Power panel, there is 12 of us, including me. I always say 11, so it just comes naturally. So we began the hacks process from February with the Kenya hack, which was the one I was a part of. And then we also were hacking through March and April, bringing together hundreds of young people to actually think about these innovations and think about these problems, these real big problems that we have in the world and how they can play a difference in solving them. And we focused on 6 main countries: Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, Indonesia, India, and the Philippines. But we also welcome participants from many neighboring countries. So Malaysia, Tanzania, Nepal, Cameroon, and more. And throughout this initiative, we've really come together to harness these ideas, these skills, these innovations that young people have brought together. And over the next period leading all the way up to here, we've been working really intensively with them, through thinking through these ideas that they've come up with and applying the very best of what we have in the world towards scaling them up. So it's just been fantastic to come together, even as the Youth Power panel, to play a part in that process of hacking the global goals, building relationships across countries, sharing ideas, and I'm just very excited to see where we go from here.
Oh, listen to your energy. I love it. It's also so exciting hearing about collaboration across the world in these times when traveling across the world has not been so easy. So, even the names, Malaysia, Tanzania, you're in Jamaica. It's so exciting that we can still come together and hack for a better future, like you've been saying. Because when I was young, which, as I said, is a little time ago, we barely had the internet. I mean, I just don't know how we would have begun when I was at the age of some of you, you panelists, to do these sorts of things, to even dream that these sorts of things were possible. And it's just incredible, I think, that what technology has delivered us, what systems like the UN can support with, what companies like Unilever can do, to just keep on connecting and keep on innovating. And you know, with the pandemic and all, that is just such a blessing, isn't it? I'm so grateful that we've been able to do this today, despite everything, don't you think?
Yeah, and I mean, I find all of that so interesting because, you know, for my generation, it feels like we've always been in this space of like endless possibility with technology, but also so many crises, you know. It feels like it was just one after the other throughout my entire lifetime, and I'm only 27, so I can imagine, you know, someone younger than me might have even a more crunched version of what the future might look like based on the fact that it's accelerating so quickly for us. And so, you know, I feel like that's what's giving us this energy as young people to really fight for the future, to fight for the global goals, to make a difference in any way that we can, because it feels like we have to. It feels like it's literally in our hands. And, you know, it's not all doom and gloom. A lot of it has been glorious and happy and joyful and really intensely connective. Like, I feel very much a part of the world. I feel very much, you know, even throughout the pandemic, I feel even more close to people, even though I can't travel to your country like I could in 2019 and speak on a stage and, you know, be in the same room with the office of the youth envoy and having meetings. And I can't do all of that, no, but I still feel like I'm invested in what's happening in Peru or Indonesia or China. I still feel like what's happening to you is happening to me. And I feel like that's the spirit behind the global goals. We're not so different. We're not so disconnected as we thought we were.
That is such a lovely way of putting it. What's happening to you is what's happening to me. I mean, that's absolutely right. And I really feel that as the next generation up, and also from a private sector perspective, kudos to Unilever. It is all of our jobs to help those young people, to help that energy be harnessed for a better future. And I think to also keep up the optimism, like you say, that something can be done. Everything can be done. You know, and everything is a thing. So we've all got a part to play in achieving the global goals. You're quite right. And so I can't wait to really get on with hearing a bit about what it is that we've been doing as part of this initiative. So why don't you take us through the event, Kristeena?
All right. So let's get back on track from our big, you know, our talk. So here's what we have coming up. We're starting with an exciting discussion with an amazing group of panelists about how we can support young people to thrive, not just survive. And then following the discussion, you will also have a chance to engage in a live Q&A session with our panelists. So please head to Slido, that's sli.do, and enter Youth Power to send your questions through. Just a note, we won't have time for all the questions because of the time constraints. But we still appreciate all your comments and we'll be looking through them and definitely taking them into consideration. And we'll also be taking you on a journey through the Youth Power Hacks with a fun film and announcing who our 4 winning teams are and bringing them onto this virtual stage so you can see them and hear the innovations that have come through the process. And if you'd like to share that you're here with me, you know, in Jamaica and across the world, share this event via social media. We encourage you to use the hashtag Youth Power.
Oh, Kristeena, I want to be with you in Jamaica. It just sounds so energetic and exciting where you are. But I'm stuck in London, so let's just look forward to what we've got ahead on the screen. We're going to have a panel discussion now. We have some really good guests with us, and I'm grateful to all of them for joining us. So let me introduce to you, we have Leena Nair. Give us a wave, Leena, who is the Chief HR Officer, Chief People Officer at Unilever. We have Dr. Dexter Galban, who is an activist and also a Youth Power panelist. Hello and welcome to you, Dexter. We have Inés Yábar, who is a Senior Global Campaigns Coordinator for Restless Development. Hello, Inés. Can't wait to talk to you. And we have Dawda Jobarteh, all the way from the United Nations in New York. And Dawda is the global head of the SDG Strategy Hub. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Let's get talking. I think I'm going to start with Inés. Inés, you have guided this whole Youth Power Hacks process from the beginning. Tell us a bit about your insight into how such things are important to help young people develop and grow their own sense of agency in the world.
Yes, great question, and thank you for having me. To be honest, I'm a young person still. I still believe I'm a young person, 25 years old. So I'm kind of in this space where I get to help people my age to get the resources, to use their energy in a way that then supports their communities, and to make sure that young people aren't just recognized or applauded or amplified, but that they really become the resources that generate the momentum that we're all asking for the global goals. Young people have that energy, and you mentioned it at the start. But it's very different to say that a young person is powerful and to say that they have power and to give them that power. And I think that's what the hacks have done, is giving young people that power, not just allowing young people to give inspiring speeches at global moments. I think that's great, but we've gone a step further, and we've realized that you as a young person and thousands of other young people, as we had more than 3,000 young people apply, that's extraordinarily powerful. And we have seen that young people are in it for the long haul. Everyone's studying, everyone's working, everyone's doing different things, and they're also hacking the global goals. So our role is just guiding that youth power, and young people refuse to sit back. We're here at the forefront, and what we've done is given them that power through trainings, skill sharings, mentoring, helping them just get together. All these young people didn't know each other at the start. And as they joined the hacks, they were able to put that power together, come together, find the solutions to the biggest problems in their societies, and help make the global goals a reality wherever they are in the world. Because it's not just a global thing, it's also something local. So that's what the hack is for me.
I love it. I think the way you've just described them, young people are like renewable energy sources, aren't they? Which, as we know, is exactly what we need. There's absolutely no end of their energy, but we need to, just like in the energy sector, we need to work out how to capture it and harness it and ideally store it up for the future when we really need it. So I couldn't agree with you more there. You also, I mean, as well as being a genuine young person, you're a bit of an activist yourself, right? Tell us a little bit about your personal activism and also how you got there.
Yes, I've been in the activism space for 10 years, and I never considered myself a young leader. I'm 25 years old now, and I started working in shanty towns in Peru, and then doing beach cleanups, addressing plastic pollution, and kind of just trying to get involved in different initiatives. And I've had the privilege of being in initiatives in Lebanon, Japan, Canada, just through my studies and through the opportunities that have come my way. And I love sharing my story with people around the world. And for me, youth power is that partnership wherever you are in the world. And Kristeena addressed this earlier, is finding how to connect the dots and the people that need to be connected, and finding a way to incorporate the corporate sector, young people, governments. I had a chance yesterday to be talking to a couple of leaders here at the UNGA, and realizing that there are a lot of people out there that want change. And that's what I've seen through my activism journey, whether it is through just cleaning up a beach on a Saturday morning, or founding an NGO in France. Through my journey, it has never been about me. It's always been about the people that I'm able to meet, and the hacks have brought that to me. So for me, even though it's part of my job, really the hacks is part of my activism journey as well, being able to connect people together and to meet so many brilliant young people. And we had so many applicants that are here probably watching today that weren't able to take part. That doesn't mean that they're not part of youth power. We're all part of youth power, and I think that's the beauty of it, that there are so many of us and so many initiatives we can be a part of. And I can't wait to see what my activism journey brings to me next.
Oh, me neither. Congratulations, you've already achieved so much. I'm going to come now to Leena. Leena, you must want a bit of this youth power in your organization, surely. How do you begin as I guess one of the largest employers on the planet? How do you take steps to find these young people and harness their energy, and also develop them for the future of work? Because there's, the world changes every week, right? And you guys are at the forefront. So tell us a bit about your approach to finding and developing young people. I think you might be on mute. Let's hear you.
Ah, God, our life, you're on mute, is the most popular statement of 2020 and 2021. Hey, I'm delighted to be here and sort of experience all this fabulous energy. I'm a passionate advocate and supporter of young people in our business. I mean, the average age of our business is 32 years. So I do want to make sure that we are leveraging all the insights, ideas of everyone who works for us. So a couple of things we've done. One of the commitments we've made as Unilever is that we will ensure 10 million young people have the skills and the mindset to become future fit, and through a combination of putting everyone through what we call Discover Your Purpose workshops, because we believe if you know your purpose, if you know what gives you meaning, if you know what gets you out of bed every morning, you are much more anchored in creating lasting change. So we invest in purpose workshops, we give immersion experiences, we expose them to the idea that business can and should be a force for good in solving the problems of the world. So we've committed to do that to 10 million young people across the world, young defined as between the ages of 16 and 25. So that's a massive commitment. And we've started in South Africa right now. We also have youth advisory panels, which I absolutely love because the unconventional ideas, the challenging of norms comes so easily to young people. So I love being there, listening to that. I know I sound almost like a bit of an ageist with I love young people and their ideas, but so we have them as an advisory panel, and my CEO and I attend these advisory panels and put some of the big problems we're facing, some of the big dilemmas we're facing, and get a new perspective on them. So I'm a big advocate for business finding a way to consciously tap into the power of young people. So for example, all our future leaders, we build a community of all of them. 700, 800 join our business every year, so that as a community, they can contribute to what Unilever can do better. So, if you bring in a lot of young people in the business and then we never hear their voice till they've become very senior in the company, then we've missed the opportunity. We've got to listen to them every step of the way. And that's what we're trying to do at Unilever.
I'm so glad to hear it. And I feel like as an employer, even within that group of young people, you're very conscious, aren't you, of the fact that a diverse workforce and an inclusive workforce is going to be a resilient and dynamic workforce to harness. Tell me a little bit about your focus on that too.
One of our sort of stated goals is to be the beacon of diversity and inclusion for the world. And we've been focusing on gender. And I'm really happy to report that 2 years ago, we went out publicly saying that Unilever is gender balanced, top to bottom, gender balanced. At every level of management, we have 50-50, including senior management, which is always difficult to do. So gender, we've made massive progress. I wouldn't say the job is done, but we've come a very, very long way. Our second area of focus is disability. We've said we want to be the place, employer of choice for people with disability. And we're committed to at least 15% of our workforce being people with disability. We are nowhere there. We're about 5%. We need a lot more to do, but we've put that ambition out there. Our third area of focus is racial diversity. In 4 markets, South Africa, Brazil, UK, US, we've said we will significantly step up the level of racial representation in our leadership teams. We've also made a commitment that we would spend 2 billion of our suppliers spend annually on suppliers who come from an underrepresented category. And last area of focus among the 4 areas that we're really pushing for is LGBTQI+. So these are the areas we have a huge program to ensure inclusion is truly central to everything we do. We have massive power. Everybody in the world watches our advertising. We've 2.5 billion people watch our advertising. So we've said we'll ensure 100% of our advertising is stereotype free. No sort of only showing the women washing the clothes, the men sitting and lounging and watching TV, none of that. It has to be 100% stereotype free. And that's our Unstereotype program, ensuring 100% of our advertising is inclusive, shows diverse people, shows underrepresented minorities before the camera and behind the camera. So both on screen and behind camera. So these are some massive goals to do, and are so exciting. They get me out of bed every morning because they're so big and so audacious. and some of them never been done before. I think we are a rare company that's gender balanced, for example, or a rare company that's saying we will be the employer of choice for disability. So those, I do think for the youth, and I think of my children as well, who are 19 and 23, inclusion comes so easily. If my husband or I use a wrong word at the dinner table, we have hell to pay, because they say, why did you say that? How could you say that? Da, 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 da. That's not good. That's, you've showed a phobia or whatever. So I feel to the youth, inclusion comes so naturally. They don't look at the quality of somebody's skin, or, the color of somebody's skin. Or they just are naturally inclusive. That's why I think leveraging youth power in an organization unleashes inclusion as well.
Thanks you for that. And I'm so glad to have you on the panel and to be working with you on these hacks, because I do feel Unilever, as a supporter of the global goals, has been there from the beginning. And as a champion of the issues, you guys have a renewable energy that I think is really impressive. You put your
100% renewable energy on all continents.
And you speak up about it, which I think is great, because you occupy such a leadership position to show what the private sector can do. So thank you for your work. I'm going to come next to Dexter. Dexter, you are confusing to me because you are both young and a doctor, and that sounds very grown up, but I think this just means that you're terrifically accomplished. You've been on the panel, I think, for the last 2 years. Tell us what you've learned, and actually I'd love your perspective on what does the panel give to those who are involved in it?
Thank you for that. The Youth Power Panel actually is composed of 12 youth representatives across the globe with different areas of expertise representing the Sustainable Development Goals. And what's interesting is that each one represents a particular niche group within that entire youth demographic. So we keep on learning about how young people are making changes and tides of advocacy in their area of the world. And we keep on building on what has worked and somehow collaborate better to ensure that even more people are able to find out how we can better champion youth advocacy. But here's the thing. We noticed that it's no longer just enough to provide young people with a voice. It's now essential for us to give young people a platform to learn and be able to express themselves and create solutions that go beyond just building awareness. Because right now, as proven by the Youth Power Hacks, young people can create business solutions as well as solutions that can be done in the public and private sector that can make waves of changes, not only in terms of the corporate area, but even within government and the policies that combine with it. And what's good about this is that young people around the world are seeing how young people in the different parts of the planet are making these changes happen and can now replicate them, building a generation of young people leading the next generation to an even brighter and more sustainable future. And that's the beauty of the Youth Power Panel. In the same way that Unilever and several other partners continue to thrive, and not just survive, but thrive in the essence of the global goals. We believe that young people are really the next essential step in creating that better world.
So it suddenly feels like a lot of pressure for these young people, doesn't it? What advice do you give those entrepreneurs who might have a solution or an idea but need to now really start putting it into action? What advice do you give them?
First and foremost, have the audacity to begin. And second, have the audacity to fail. Because at the end of the day, you have the third one, the audacity to seek help. And that's exactly what the entire Youth Power Hacks has become for a lot of us. Because at the end of the day, you're going to need mentors, guidance, as well as even support from corporate entities, government, and several others. And through the Youth Power Hacks, we were able to show that it is possible to have a collaboration between governments, civil society, and even the private sector in order to emphasize the capability of young people to generate solutions across multiple fields of interest, even among people who have just met within the platform, to make changes happen globally.
Thank you for that. And I think that is true now more than ever, eh? And just last question quickly to you, because you are a doctor. How do you feel the pandemic has hit young people's ability to do the things you say? And, how can we make sure that youth power continues despite these sort of difficult times that we're in?
The young people of the day are very adaptable to change. And that is one of the great things that the Youth Power hacks have highlighted. And that is why, being pushed into the corner, they were really encouraged to think out of the box and use the tools that were given to them as provided by the mentors, and even the technologies that were somehow showcased to them, to create these innovative solutions that can make lives better for a lot of people all over the world.
Thank you. Now I'm going to come to Dawda now, who I am putting in the grown-up camp, not least because you work for the very grown-up United Nations, but we were all pretty sure we saw you dancing in the BTS video yesterday. You can confirm or deny that. But apart from dancing in pop videos, what is it that the UN are doing to try and reach out to these young people and support them in their activist journeys?
Thanks so much, Gail. And I can confirm I was not dancing in the BTS video. I was in Brooklyn in the studio for the SDG Action Zone. Well, I think we've heard so much already from all of our panelists and Gail and our moderator, Kristeena, whether it's around endless possibility, hacking for the future, youth power, impact, ingenuity, potential, right? The one thing about action is it necessitates someone doing something, right? From the UN's perspective, there's a recognition that there is energy, there is power in youth, and it's something that we've all advocated for a long time, that it's not about waiting to be asked for a seat at the table. It's about occupying that space and pushing into it and using and harnessing that energy to really, really shape the future. We're here talking about the future. We can't forget the future is what comes next. We're also in the present. And that present also, as you said, Gail, there is a world's to-do list, and that requires and necessitates action. None of the actions that Unilever and the ambitions that it sent out are going to happen on their own, right? It takes concerted effort. It takes investment. It takes ambition. It takes the fulfillment of things. And to leave youth, just like leaving women, just like leaving disabilities, disabled people, just like leaving LGBTQI, we cannot have systems that do not include and represent everyone. That would be a failure. And as the Secretary General said, we can either choose to succeed or choose to fail. And that's the precipice, I think, that we're on at the moment.
I think that's what's so exciting working with young people, isn't it? They only choose to succeed because they've still got all of that raw energy from the start. I reckon a lot of people watching this will be like young yous, Dawda. How did you end up where you are? Like, what took you down the purpose path and ended up in the strategy hub at the UN? And what would you give as advice to people who might be thinking of following behind you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. It's something that I think about almost every day. It is such a non-linear path. I've done a lot of different things, and I will not hide that I've come from a position of privilege, from education and being born to the family that I was born in, and to have grown up in New York City and have dedicated my life to social impact. And social impact, not the stuff flittering around the edges, but social impact that hopefully will actually make a difference, both in terms of inclusion and representation. But it's about exactly what you said, Gail, hustling, and not taking no for an answer, and finding a different way to get something done. And always, as we're talking about, making sure that we're keeping both people and planet at the very, very center of all of the things that we're doing, and the decisions that we're making and the investments that we're making, and speaking truth to power. We can't forget that all the leaders in the world, whether we're in the United States or in Gambia or Argentina, two countries that I am from, well, three countries that I'm from, the governments are there to serve their people, and their people need certain things that their governments either, will succeed in providing or fail in providing. And we're talking about thriving or striving. And in often situations and in many countries around the world, that's happening despite what the governments are doing to support those people, whether it's young people or disabled or LGBTQI or whatever. And it is, the time is now. There's an urgency of now, whether we're talking about climate, whether we're talking about sustainable development, whether we're talking about inclusion, whether we're talking about oceans, whether we're talking about plastics. Whatever the issue is, it needs to be addressed now. We cannot wait for the future, for tomorrow. It is now that we need to start sort of activating. And oftentimes, in certain circles, we talk about the youth needs to be mobilized. They're already mobilized. They're up. They're in the streets. They're shouting. They're, jeopardizing their own safety. It's for people in positions of power and leadership to give them space, to listen to them, to support their initiatives, and a whole lot of hustle. And I think everyone should know that they have power to act, irrespective of their sphere of influence, irrespective of where they are. They can choose certain decisions, they can consume certain things, they can use their voice and vote to choose for vision-aligned, ambition-aligned leadership. It is not, we need to act now.
And that is the title of the next BTS single, surely, a whole lot of hustle. Very quickly, thank you for that's energy. I love that. I have 2 children, and one of the most frustrating things about being a parent, isn't it, is the fact that children have no sense of time and no patience. They want it and they want it now. And I think that's the energy we can get from Youth Power and from the Youth Power panel, because they want change now. I'm going to do one last question to everyone, just a quick one-line response. If you could give a piece of advice to your young Leena and Dawda and younger Dexter and Inés selves, what would it be? I'm going to look first. I'm going to ask Dexter. What would you say to your younger self, your 15-year-old self?
I would tell myself, always have the audacity to hope that the future can always be made better by young people.
Fantastic. I'm going to go to Leena. What would you say?
I would say relax and enjoy the journey as much as the destination.
Nice. I'm going to go to Dawda again. Dawda, what would your advice to your younger self be?
Don't leave it to others to do. Do it yourself.
Perfect. And finally, Inés, take us out.
I would say don't be afraid to be a leader. You're already a leader in your own life. So take that and own it.
Fantastic. Well, look, guys, thank you so much. That was such a fantastic discussion. I wish we had longer. Really, thanks so much for being with us and for your time. And I'm going to hand over to Kristeena now, because we've got some questions coming in. Kristeena, where are you?
Thanks, Gail. That was such a great conversation. You guys have inspired me. I feel really ready to go forward. And thank you to all of you for submitting your questions to us. And I'm going to jump right in. Let's get this going. Youth are ready. First question goes to Leena. What do big businesses like Unilever need to do differently to engage youth?
We have to break hierarchy to engage youth. We have to flatten layers of management in an organization. You know, for example, if you're having a strategy session and you have all these presidents, vice presidents, everybody with 20, 30, 40 years experience in the business, you've got to push and say, where is the voice of the youth in this room? And you've got to push beyond that hierarchy to include everyone who can contribute to creating that strategy, for example. So I would say break down hierarchies. That's the way to bring in more youth voice.
Thank you. So question number 2 goes to Inés. Inés, how crucial is innovation and collaboration for achieving the global goals?
Ooh, I think we all agree that collaboration especially is super crucial to achieving the global goals. We've said we can't do this alone. We're going to do this together. Peppa said it in her poem. Through the hacks, we've seen that Restless works very well with young people. We need people that know who they're talking to and how they're talking to them. Unilever has been great in training in terms of management, but also they've brought the funding. We needed that for young people as well. And Project Everyone does amazing work in communicating about the global goals and getting the word out there. So in that sense, we couldn't have done it with without these 3 actors, but we couldn't have done it without young people either. I mean, through the panel, you guys led the hacks. It would have been impossible without you and all the young people that turned up. So for me, collaboration is key, and innovation as well. I find that a lot of people get scared of innovation because it doesn't mean that it's an idea that no one knows. Innovation means that you're trying to find the new thing in your community and how you would solve the problem that you're seeking to address. And that doesn't mean it's not being done around the world. It means what can you do that's not being done where you are, that can help achieve the goal that you want to achieve. So I think we need innovation, but we need to use that word as something real to your reality. And I think everyone can do that.
Yes, yes. Dexter, moving right along. Do you think more young people need to be involved in the health sector?
Absolutely. I believe young people should be involved in every segment of the health sector, from digital space to public health to environmental health and so many others, because based on what has happened throughout this pandemic, young people were one of those who were first to act and respond, especially when we needed to spread information about COVID-19 and all of the different health protocols that we needed to follow. And at the same time, young people took charge of creating all of these new innovative startups and solutions that help address the need to contain the virus and respond to the needs of our health workers and those that are being catastrophically affected by the pandemic. So if this is a manifestation of the future of healthcare, then I'm confident that young people will definitely lead the charge towards a better tomorrow.
Absolutely. And right away, going on to Dawda, what opportunities and or programs does the UN have for youth?
Oh, there's so much there. First of all, tomorrow starts the SDG Action Zone, which is, again, a space for young people to push into. We're really, really proud of the program. It actually features 45% young people, and we're defining young people in this category as under 35 as part of the speakers. There is a Youth Envoy's office. The Secretary General has just recently, a couple of weeks ago, said that he would elevate to create a youth program or department to, again, really, really focus on the inclusion of it. I think in his report that he just launched called Our Common Agenda, it is looking into the future and creating an envoy for the future and, being guided by young people and really doing that. But I don't think the work is to be done in New York at headquarters. The UN is present in 141 countries, exactly what Inés says, the innovation that's happening at a local level. And, we can't only think of global, but it needs to match up to local, is where the rubber hits the road. There are opportunities always for young people to push into those offices, both in terms of mentorship, employment, but also in terms of showcasing the work that they're doing, whether it's through innovation labs or being part of the solution that we're here talking about in getting the world's to-do list done.
Yeah, and I'm so excited for those opportunities. I hope more young people take advantage of them. Please go out and seize them where you can. And thanks to all of you for your fantastic questions to our panelists, everyone, and thank you for your answers, everybody. Coming up next, we'll be taking you through our Youth Power Hacks journey, just jumping right into that. So, like we've been talking about this whole time, the Youth Power Panel over the past year have been teaming up with Restless Development, Project Everyone, and Unilever to deliver the Youth Power Hacks. In the face of multiple systemic interconnected crises, young people have continued to demonstrate incredible resilience, determination, and creativity. It was amazing to meet so many inspiring young people coming together to hack solutions to help get the global goals delivered. Like Inés said earlier, almost all of our panelists, participants didn't know each other before the Youth Power Hacks began. And it's really incredible to see how far we've all come together. And we're so excited to take you on that journey through the Youth Power Hacks via our upcoming film, and beyond that, to reveal who our 4 winning teams are. So let's go.
Part of the Youth Power Hacks is a fantastic opportunity. It's really great to be around other empowered youth.
The Youth Power Hack has been a place in which the youth can bring about change in their community and bring about chances to other people that were not as privileged as they were.
Being part of Youth Power Hackathon has been a very fulfilling journey. It has not only taught me more about myself, but about the problems faced by everybody around the world.
For me, Youth Power Hacks is life-changing, exciting, and also challenging in the same time.
Illustrado is a crowd-lending platform that provides Filipino entrepreneurs with livelihood and educational assistance. The main issue that we're trying to tackle with Illustrado is the lack of financial inclusion in the country. The way Illustrado works is that we basically allow people to borrow money by submitting their application process completely online, and lenders on our platform can then view their stories and then choose to contribute a small sum of money to help them raise their fundraising goals. I think in a lot of ways in these trying times, Illustrado could be a lifeline for the people who are really struggling to stay afloat after COVID.
So Street to School is basically making education accessible to children by building a mobile truck which meets the children at their own convenience. So the educational gaps between the rich and the poor in Nigeria is really high. About 10.5 million children are out of school due to the pandemic. So Street to School is solving this problem by providing education to families that can't send their children to school. Our idea will help over 15 million 5 to 12-year-olds in Nigeria, children that have no level of education, have not stepped a day in a classroom before.
Trained teachers here to provide quality education for all. India as a society is invested in education, but some students face discrimination because of lack of it. We have come up with this brilliant solution to address all these issues at once. We want to provide all the right tools, all the right resources and mentorship to these volunteers so that they can provide quality education for all.
My theme is Juicy Emergency. The problem that we are going to address is food waste, one of the major problems in Indonesia. As we know, food waste produces carbon emissions, and carbon emissions lead to climate change. We prevent unwanted harvests and crop surpluses from becoming waste by collaborating with pandemic-affected families to upcycle those products into more valuable food products.
The Youth Power Hacks are our step towards a better future.
We can end poverty, fight inequality, and tackle the climate crisis.
Let's deliver the global goals.
Without young people like us, the global goals will not be met.
Oh, that was such a great film. It was so great to see you guys. I am now joined live by the 4 winning Youth Power Hack teams. So I'm going to introduce you guys, give a wave. Mathina from Illustrado in the Philippines. Hello. Raidat from Street to School, Nigeria. Hello. We've got Pooja from Train to Teach in India. Hiya. And we've got Shania from the GC Emergency. Thank you so much for all joining us. So we have gathered you here, first of all, to say massive congratulations. I think Inés said it earlier, more than 3,000 people applied to be part of this whole process, and you are here as the winning 4. So that is amazing. And I can tell you today, thank you very much to Unilever. You guys are each going to be awarded the sum of £10,000 per team to help take you guys and your projects onto the next level. So we are so glad to be able to give you that today. And I'd really now like to hear from you all, because you've been listening to this chat. Let's hear something about you and how this lands. So Mathina, let's start with you. It is really great to see you and have you tell us how it's been for you.
Hi everyone, so great to be here. I'm Athena Angeles. I'm the leader of Team Illustrado, and on behalf of my team, I really just wanted to say thank you to Unilever Restless Development and everyone who contributed to our project and made it possible for us to create Illustrado, a crowd lending platform, and in doing so, allowed us to invest in the Filipino future. And it really does mean a lot to us, especially since everyone is experiencing such hardships in these trying times. And we really hope that our advocacy for financial inclusion will come to fruition through our efforts and also through the efforts of our mentors and all of our collaborators. And we're really looking forward to collaborating with more people and more organizations to make this into a reality. So thank you.
You're so welcome, and I'm sure you will go on to achieve great things. Ryder, let's hear from you, from Street to School, all the way from Nigeria.
Hi, hello. I'm Ryder. I'm the team leader of Street to School. On behalf of myself and the team, I would just love to say thank you very much for the opportunity. In a world where the youth voice is very limited, the youth are not giving that much opportunity to voice out their opinion. This initiative has provided us the platform to express ourselves and also provide solutions to issues in our community. And Street to School idea came about from just 7 individuals that are passionate about providing education to vulnerable children. And our idea is we feel our idea is very innovative and sustainable. So we'd love to collaborate with people that are willing to fund, invest, and just people that are willing to provide good quality education to children in Nigeria. And on behalf of myself and my team, we're very grateful. And this is just a great platform to just bring voice to the Nigerian youth and the African youth. Thank you.
Well, it's great to hear it, and there's lots of people watching and listening, so I'm sure you'll be heard very widely. I'm going to go next to Pooja from Train to Teach. Hello, Pooja.
Hi, thank you, and warm greetings from India. YPH has strengthened my core values to be spiritually conscious, socially responsible, and morally upright. I thank all the mentors for the words of wisdom that radiated a source of energy within us. From all who are with us today, we seek collaborations and mentorship as they are pivotal to make the right decisions at the right time. We are trained to teach, envision to bring quality education to students of India by helping and supporting young volunteers and grassroots level NGOs. We hope that with our hard work and diligence, every child learns and grows. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thanks for being with us. And finally, I'm going to turn to Shania from Juicy Emergency. Hello.
Hi. On behalf of my team, firstly, I would like to thank all Youth Power Hacks committees and judges. It is truly an honor for me and my team to be one of the winners and presenting our beloved country, Indonesia. Well, 6 months have passed since we started collaborating without knowing each other before, yet driven by the same belief and determination successfully brought us to this point. So our vision is to prevent food from becoming waste by transforming them into valuable products and reduce carbon emissions. If you believe what we believe, collaborate with us. Be our mentor, partners, or even funders to help us amplify our impact. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, look, thank you all again, and well done. I think people might not appreciate the hard work that's gone into getting you this far in your lives, not just in this competition, but it's really, really great to have you here. And I'm so glad that we've been able to help and move you on to the next level of your journeys. So we are wrapping up. If anyone is watching this and feels that they have got something to add to any one of those initiatives, those people, or the Youth Power panel and Restless Development, if you think you can assist Youth Power, then do get in touch. There is a website. It is restlessdevelopment.org/youth-power-hacks. But I'm sure you'll get to it if you Google it. So Restless Development, Youth Power Hacks, if you think you want to get involved or can help in any shape or form. Also, thank you so much to Pepper, who opened us up with her wonderful poem. We are fans, Pepper, and we wish you well. Yeah, we want to see more of that. Thank you so much to our panelists, to Leena, to Dawda, to Dexter, and to Inés from Restless Development. It was so great to have you guys. Amazing insights. I'm sure everyone watching has learned so much. And I'm going to hand it back now to Kristeena. Thank you for hosting us one more time, Unilever, and making it all happen. We are grateful and we are thankful for your leadership in this area. So over to you, Kristeena, to take us out.
Thanks, Gail. And to all of you, just like Gail said, thank you for joining Thriving, Not Just Surviving, Youth Power for the Global Goals. And I really hope you enjoyed your time with us, that you've learned some more about what we've been up to and where we're going. And I hope you feel, empowered to join us on this movement, on this platform on this journey together as we continue to hack the global goals. You can, of course, continue to engage with Youth Power through the Youth Collective at Restless Development, Unilever's Take Action Hub, and via the Global Goals social media channels. And to end, I'll just leave you with one question. How will you use your youth power? Thanks for joining.